Okay, so we're looking at one of our brand new John Deere 4066Rs. And we're gonna be giving you a full guide and tutorial of how to install a brand new Hevea cutting edge on your Norman Hybrid 82. So first, before installing the edge, you wanna make sure that you got your jacks up. Make sure that the blower's locked, like so. So I'm underneath the blower now, and this is the stock cutting edge that comes with the Norman Hybrid 82. It's a metal edge. You got flat nose bolts here, and then they lock up here. So you'll need to take this cutting edge out, the stock cutting edge, and then you will need to start installing your Hevea edge. Now the Hevea edge is a little bit larger, so we're gonna need to cut into the rubber skid shoes a little bit so that it'll fit properly. And we'll show you guys how to do that. Now another thing I'm gonna bring up quick while I'm underneath this machine is right here you're looking at the rubber skid shoe, okay? And there's a leaf spring right here that allows this to maneuver up and down like this as you're going over terrain in a driveway. So these leaf springs actually freeze up, and sometimes they even lock up. They lock your skid shoe up or they lock it down, and it kind of screws up the cut when you're blowing snow in a driveway. And you know what? It's just a pain in the ass. So I do recommend you taking these out. We took all of ours out. Before they end up breaking or freezing on you, just take them out altogether and it'll save you a headache in the middle of the winter. And this is what it looks like when it's off. Okay, so now it can move freely. So when that spring's there, or leaf spring if you will, like I said, it locks up sometimes, and it'll keep your shoe stuck like this, or it'll keep it stuck like this all the way up, and it'll freeze like that and it won't move, which will screw up your cut, and it'll uneven the wear on the blower, and it just causes issues. So make sure you take those leaf springs out for now. Hopefully Norman will perfect this flaw in the future. So we took off the stock cutting edge, and this is what it looks like. Okay, so right here we got our Hevea edge from the factory, and this is what it looks like. And then this edge here was cut, and then that's the stock Norman Hybrid edge in steel that comes on the blower. So here we got a chunk of the Hevea edge, and as you can see, there's a piece of vulcanized steel at the top, right? Now you have a bit more thickness in rubber here, and then at the top it's a bit thinner, right? So you want to make sure you're locking your bolts at the top and the edge is at the ground. So this will be attached to your blower, this side will be attached to your blower, and this side will be on the ground. And as you wear through the edge, you just flip it to the other side, and that's it.
Normally you can have two situations. One is the one that we just had, that we had to take the piece of cutting edge steel that comes with the blower, and that will make everything easier. But if you don't have it, you just have the blower without it, then you need to figure out how to make the holes. So the first hole is 2.25 inches from the edge. So you go 2.25 inches from the edge, mark the center of that one, and then you start every 10 inch and 3/4. You will have every hole, 10 inch and 3/4, the next hole, and so on, right?
Okay, so that's what you would do if the blower comes with no cutting edge, right?
Yeah.
So
and when you have a cutting edge like we do in this situation, that makes life way easier, because you just need to put it in the center.
so you line it up, put your stock cutting edge that comes with the Norman blower on top of your Hevea edge. Eric, you got the paint.
Yeah, and then we have this system in here is to mark the center. This is the way we do it in here. As you can see, we did it in previous times in here. We have another different cutting edge. This is every 10 inches. Is for another kind of blower for the Cyclone. So as you can see, the holes don't line up.
Every cutting edge is different, right?
Yeah.
This one came off a Norman, right?
This
So
one
this
came-
one's from a Norman?
Yes, and this one is from a Cyclone. So
Yeah.
you can see that there is a difference between, right? So I know that all the Normans come every 10 inch and 3/4, and 2 inch and 1/4 from the first one, and then 10 inch and 3/4 for every of them. This one comes 5 inch from the edge, and then every 10 inch, right?
Yeah.
Something important
Yeah.
to know.
So every stock cutting edge that comes on whatever particular blower you're buying, whether it's Billadou, Pronavos, Norman, Atrix, make sure that you're measuring to the center of each hole from the left to the right, and then all the way to the center of the cutting edge, and that's how you'll be able to mark your lines on a piece of Hevea edge. But like we said, in this case, when you have a brand new edge or even a used edge that came off a blower and you're installing these new Hevea edges, all you need to do is what Eric did right there. Make sure that you line it up perfectly on there. Well, first you got to make your cut to the exact length of the old edge. Then you put your old edge on top of the Hevea edge and you paint your lines, and that's it.
Something very important to know is, like, for example, myself, you can see that this cutting edge that I already cut or had pre-cut, it was this size, and I made it this size. But as you can see in this side, it has like an edge like this, right?
Yeah.
I honestly just want to have it flush, so what I do is I cut a little bit,
Yeah.
and then
Because you want both sides flush, so you cut one of the sides, right?
yeah, I cut one of the sides, then I measure from that side the measurement that I want, and
Make the cut
and then I will have 2 edges that will look
nice and flush.
yes.
Perfect. Okay, guys, so here's everything you're gonna need to drill the holes. Okay, we got our 9/16 drill bit to drill our hole through the Hevea, and then we finish it off with the cone-shaped drill bit to puncture the hole all the way through. And then we also have our 1 1/4 inch bit too, to make a larger hole so we could fit our bolt in. Okay, you're gonna need 2 to 3 drills. When one heats up, you could use the other. Good to have 2 drills in one impact, or 1 drill in one impact. And then make sure while you're drilling those holes through, you're spraying some coolant on the drill bit and the hole that you're puncturing through. That way it doesn't cause friction and smoke up everywhere. So step 1, before you start drilling, you're gonna wanna make sure that you have the steel side up and the rubber side down, like that. Makes it a little bit easier drilling that steel right away, puncture through, and then it's rubber all the way through.
So first you go a little bit fast just to go through the first layer of rubber. That's it. When you reach the metal, then you add some coolant in there,
Why you add the coolant?
because if this overheats, the cutting part of the drill bit overheats,
It'll break.
it will just start chopping little parts off, and then
You fucked the bit up.
you fucked it up.
Yeah, so the coolant's important. Now you don't want to go too fast because you'll overheat the drill bit and then you'll break it, right? So that's why I want to go nice and easy. Now you see how it's catching? It's getting a little bit tougher. Make sure you put your leg in there for some stability. Slow and steady wins the race. These bits are expensive, guys. You don't want to break them, so make sure you're adding that coolant and make sure you're taking your time.
And then to finish going through,
Grab
I
the
use
impact.
the impact with this cone drill bit, and then I go through.
Just like that.
Because the bit starts catching up with the last little bit, and it can be dangerous. For example, right now I'm using a brushless fuel drill, and it's very powerful. And if it gets attached too much and you don't have your hand very tight, you can even break your wrist. So you gotta be careful with that, right? So that's why I go with this one, just to make the hole bigger on the steel, and then I finish going through all the rest of the thickness of the rubber with a drill bit, like so.
And that's it.
And that's it.
Beautiful.
So something important when you use this one and you are cutting the rubber is like, as you can see in here, there are not too many big pieces in here. That's exactly what you want, because the big pieces like this one, what they do is they get hard when you are using it, and if you have a too powerful drill bit, you can fuck up your wrist. So I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna go on high RPMs, but not too much pressure, so it doesn't get stuck in there.
Go until you hit the steel, right?
Yes.
And that's what it's gonna look like. Okay,
And then
just like that.
it's deep enough in there. You can see how deep it is.
Let me see the other side. There it is. That's how you're gonna wanna fasten them. Now you gotta remember, this side here is what will be scraping the ground. So that's why you need to make that hole so you can fasten your bolt in and it can fit through. Okay, so we got our Hevea edge all lined up with the holes here. Everything's good. We just gotta fasten it in. But what we wanted to mention to you is there's an issue, of course. Right here, you see the rubber cutting edge, or the rubber skid shoe, sorry. It won't let you align the cutting edge with the blower flushly because the skid shoe's in the way. So what we do is we cut a little piece right here. Eric, you got the tools. So this is what we use.
And just in case, it's good to have an oscillating saw as well with the metal attachment, just in case to do it nicely. But it's just a little bit that you need to cut, right? So
yeah,
it's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. You just go here and cut, right?
Yep. Shaving a little bit more off.
And that's perfect.
That's perfect.
All fastened in.
That's it. It's on tight. So that's the Hevea cutting edge installed on the Norman Hybrid 82. Just like that. Done.